A bullet graph is a lot like a bar chart, but the bullet graph also has an indicator that tells you what a goal value is, or a reference value. It indicates if a value is good, bad, above or below a target or a reference. The data set I'm using in these three bullet graphs is a very simple data set, which we can see down here. We have 4 sales regions, conveniently named East, North, South, and West. Each of them have achieved a certain sales amount, but they also had a sales target. And in these bullet graphs, we're seeing each sales region a bullet that indicates the total value of their sales, and a mark here, a reference mark, which is the target value. So if we start with East here, we can see that they almost achieved their target. If I point to the bullet, we can see the numbers. Here we have target twice because we're actually using it in color as well, but we could edit that out. North, on the other hand, is somewhat below their target. So is South. The only sales region that achieved above their target is West. As we can see here, they've gone across their target level. So let's right now recreate, for example, this bullet graph up here. I'm moving this one below, and we'll create a new item here. We'll select horizontal bullet graph, and if we look under breakdown, we can see that there's items, rows, and columns. And if I take sales region and drag it to breakdown, it automatically ends up on items. However, that has no effect on the appearance of the bullet graph. What I need to do is I need to take sales region and actually put it on rows. I'm getting pretty tall rows right now. By default, I can change that by cross y-axis disable minimum interval length, like that. Next, I want to take sales amount and drag it to X, so that the length of each of these bullets reflects the sales amount, as we can see here on the x-axis bar. I can change the format string to make it show a dollar value. Third thing I do is I take target and drag that to reference, which immediately also changes the scale. So the scale now ends at the highest reference value, which is the reference value for South, which is up here at $320,000. And I'm changing the format string of that one as well to make it show a dollar value. I don't have a title for this visualization, so let's fix that really quick. I'll just type sales and you get the idea, and it ends up here. Now there's one thing missing if we compare this bullet graph to the one below, and that's color. So here I have this red over yellow to green color scale in the background, and it's based on target. So what I do is I take target and I drag it to color. Now something happened, but I need to change the palette. I'm changing it to red, yellow, green. I'm getting a very dark red, and the red reaches quite far up because my lowest reference value, my lowest target value is about here, and my highest is up here. So what I can do if I want to push out this color gradient a little bit is to change these values down here. So I'm actually going to say that the minimum value is something which is actually off the chart. It's a minus value. And I'm going to say that the maximum value is a good bit higher, like that, for example, or maybe not too much. I could say that the mid value should be perhaps 150, right? And you can work with it like this until you see something that looks nice. Likewise, in this bullet graph, I'm using a color with a different palette. I'm using this one, yellow-red palette. In this case, I'm using an automatic range. It's based on the target value, and I'm using a 9-step scale. With this color, I would like to indicate that the higher the bullet reaches above this level, the sort of hotter it gets in terms of achieving a high sales level. Note that the color is shared across all groups, so it's not possible to color these bars individually. Lastly, let's look at this one right here. This is a vertical bullet graph, which is created in a very similar fashion. If I make one real quick, I simply select this one, bullet graph vertical, instead of horizontal. Besides that, everything else is the same. This bullet graph has a single shared color across all the bullets, a light blue. If we inspect the settings for this one, it says that I have enabled the empty color variable, and under palette I have moved into place where I can make a choice for a particular nuance that I feel is suitable. So I could modify this now and make it a, I don't know, a light shade of something, anything at all. I use that as a background color of each bullet.